Psychetruth. Life, wisdom.
Hey, it's Liz Davis. Welcome back. We're on part 2 of a 10-part series for yoga for building confidence and self-esteem. Today we're going to be talking all about trust. So be sure to favor this video and also subscribe to Psychetruth to keep on the journey with me, and stay tuned for tomorrow for part 3. Let's get started. All right, so take a few rocks front and back on your feet, and we'll bring our hands in front of our heart. Namaste, prayer hands, trusting and honoring the guidance of our heart, which will always lead us to our true spot. Our head, as we know, can play games with us. So take a big inhale and drop your arms and lift up, reach up, get long through your side body. Big exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift up, reach up, get long, spread your fingers, get jazzy. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift up, reach up, get long. And exhale, fold. We can start to bend our knees here, bring our hands to the ground. We can start to lower ourselves. So you might have to take your hands back behind you, or lower your feet, or bring your heels off the mat. And either way, however you can do it, trust yourself that your bum will eventually hit the ground. And we're gonna come and we're gonna take our half boat pose here. So speaking of trust, so we're gonna take our hands back behind us. We're gonna have our toes together, and we're just gonna start by kind of rolling on our buns here. So we're still having our toes touch together, but we're just trusting and exploring how our body moves around on the floor. So toes touching, cores engaged, right? So we're gonna trust and test our balance here. So extend your legs up. We're gonna start with the knees bent, and we can take our hands back behind us. So whoop, you might be falling out of the pose, and that's okay. If you're still building the muscle, maybe you're having a hard time lifting your feet, just take your toes, like just the tippy toes to the top of the mat, and gently grab the backs of your thighs. Don't yank on the backs of your knees or anything. Just be really gentle and sweet with yourself. So either stay here or lift your feet up. We're just gonna take a few breaths here. So we're trusting in the power of our center. We're lifting up through our hands, and we're gonna lean back here. So take a big inhale, and exhale, start to straighten. Ooh, inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Hold. And then we'll cross the ankles here. We'll come forward and step back. Downward facing dog. So let's just check into our alignment real quick. We'll drop down onto our knees. Perfect. My hands are about 6 inches out from underneath, or out in front of my shoulders, which is exactly where we want them to be. Toes are tucked, navel strong, lift up. Downward facing dog. So again, take some breaths here. Let the head drop. Shoo. So slowly, we're gonna start to lift our right leg up. So we're gonna trust in the strength of our left leg. So step your feet together and just start to stretch your right leg high. Yep, so flex your toes here and make sure that your hip isn't stacking open, but we're squaring our hips towards the earth. And really spread your toes wide and press into your left heel. So take another big inhale, and then start to exhale. Bring your knee in towards your nose, bring your shoulders over your wrists, and trust and step your foot forward. So from here, we're gonna start to ground our back foot. So setting ourselves up for Warrior 1. If your hips are a little bit tighter, you can always kind of heel toe this front foot over a little bit more. Otherwise, you wanna have the front heel, if you could draw a chalk line, it would come all the way back, and it would come into the back center arch of my foot. And then from here, I'm gonna lift up. Woo! Warrior 1. So warrior poses are very powerful poses, and we have to trust in the power of our legs. So maybe if you're just getting started, your legs are like this, but ultimately, as we trust our body and our strength more, we wanna have the leg be really bent and be as parallel to the floor as possible. So we'll inhale the arms up here. Now imagine that you have this like beautiful gold bar that you're holding it in your hands and there's some weight to it. So you actually have to engage your arms. So I'm getting a lift from the side, from the hips up, and I'm grounding through the feet. My hands are hugging towards one another, even though I have space there, right? Take a few more breaths, trust, breathe. 2 more. And we'll exhale our hands to the floor so we can step our right foot back. So you can either come into a push-up position, or again, if you're still building strength, always feel free to drop the knees. If you drop the knees, you'll lower all the way to the ground and pull up to cobra. If you want to have the knees off of the ground, you'll come forward, you'll bend your elbows. So don't let your shoulders come below your elbows. You'll tuck your toes and you'll lift up to an up dog. That's as we get a little bit more comfortable in our body. So from here we can pull back to down dog, or if we're from the floor, we're gonna tuck the toes, press up, lift up, down dog, right? And the main reason why we do this is with our knees on the floor is so we don't hurt our low back. So we don't want to do yoga and get hurt. So we really want to honor and trust where we are. And there are no levels, really. Just imagine it as a layer cake, right? And everybody just has to go a little bit deeper to feel the same sensation and to get that favorite piece of the cake. So we'll start again here in downward facing dog. Hands are out, nice and strong. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. 2 more. Step the feet together and then inhale the left leg to the sky. Again, just finding awareness and really point flexing the foot. So we start to feel the activeness of the pose. Pull your right kneecap more up into your quad so you feel your quad engage. Yeah. Take a big inhale. Exhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrist. Really find that cat-like back. And then step your foot forward. Ground your right foot here. Same thing, remember our alignment with our heels. Squeeze your feet together and then inhale, come on up. Yeah, bend in your knee. So something I really like to do in my own practice is kind of bend and straighten my knee, and then I'm able to see where my joints are at that day. Every day is different, right? Some days when it's chillier, we feel a little bit more tight, or days that it's warmer, we feel a little bit more open and loose. So I just take a couple of bend and straightens and I see where I'm at today, and I take my arms up. Again, we have that beautiful gold bar right above us. So even as you start to feel a little bit more comfortable with this pose, we can take our gaze up and trust, right? So stay active in your back leg and maybe even bend more in the front one. Pull your navel in. The more you ground through your right heel, the more you get that stretch across your thigh. 2 more, stay with it. Relax your shoulders down and back. Beautiful job, great work. Big inhale, and then exhale your hands to the floor. Again, have that integrity. If you need to drop your knees, I'm gonna do it with you this time. Lower all the way down. Lift up, cobra. Lower back down, tuck your toes. Press up, plank, modified plank, and then downward facing dog. Breath in and out. Whew. In and out. In and out. And we'll come back down onto the knees and take a moment here in child's pose. Again, we're just starting out, and the breath is the most important part of your yoga practice, right? The breath is what clears our mind. The more we can clear the chatter out, the more clarity we can have, and that enables us to, you guessed it, trust ourselves more, right? And that's what it's all about. So we're gonna come forward onto our belly here. So lower down onto your belly. All right, so we're gonna lay on the ground and just take a moment here to just trust and feel that earth beneath you. Feel that earthiness You can kind of lift your fingers up and down off the floor a little bit. So you come into the now, into the present moment. And then from here, we're gonna lift up our left foot and then come on to, if you make a little teepee with your left hand, so it looks like this, and then we're gonna just start to pick up your foot. So maybe this is as far as you'll get today, and that's totally okay. Maybe you need a little bit more, and so you start to open the hip, and you can suspend the foot. As you start to gain mobilization and flexibility, maybe you even take and tap that foot over to the right. So we're just getting a nice little twist here, and also a little exercise in trusting ourselves, right? And then we'll come back around, woo, and then we'll switch. So that right hand we come up on, I call it like a little hand TP, right? And so why this is so effective is that this is harder to really press into. This is a more focused way of finding that energy and utilizing your arm strength, right? So we're gonna bend our right leg, and then I'm gonna, again, lift it up. So this might be where you're at today, just even lifting the leg, even if it's a centimeter, it doesn't matter, right? Lift it up, maybe lift it up a little bit higher, maybe take it all the way up and over. Wherever you are, stay here for 2 more breaths. And trust that your practice is gonna unravel that's best for you. So be really kind and sweet to yourself, right? And then come back around, perfect. All right, from here we're gonna come up and we're gonna take a little Sphinx pose. Yeah, so we're gonna open up our quads a little bit. So from here with the elbows underneath the shoulders, we're gonna lift this right foot up. So less intense on the shoulders, and you might not even be able to grab your foot today, and that's also okay. You'll still get the stretch even just by lifting the foot up. So first step is thumbs down on the outside of your foot, so pinky toe side, right? So this is a great place to start. So if you're not able to grab your foot, you'll just reach, and you're still getting this stretch across your shoulder. So part of trust is an allowing of your heart to be open. So we'll grab our foot, and we'll kick our foot into our hand, and we'll get a little bit of a lift here. So a little bit of a heart opener, but we're nice and solid on the floor, perfect. And then right hand will come back, lower your right foot. You can kind of do a little hip shake here, yes. So left foot's gonna bend, and then same thing. So even if you can't grab your foot, it's totally cool, because we're reaching back and we're just getting into the shoulder. So that's the main part of this, is opening the shoulder and opening part of the heart. If you can grab your foot, then kick your foot away from me and you get a little bit more of a lift. Press into the forearm of your ground arm, and then you can spread your fingers wide and get a little bit more of a lift. Take one more big inhale and exhale, whoo, lower back down. So from here, we're gonna tuck our toes. So again, you can have your knees on the floor, just like this, and lift up. Or, again, more of a challenge, but be honoring yourself and trusting yourself where you're at. Toes will tuck, and you'll press up in one solid line, plank, and then we'll come back to downward facing dog. Woo! Take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. In, and out. In, and out. So we're getting ready for our first sun salutation A. All right, so in our downward facing dog, before our sun A again, we're just gonna spread our fingers wide. We're gonna take a big inhale, and our gaze is gonna look forward. So we're looking forward to that trust. We're gonna take a big step forward with our right foot, and a big step forward with our left foot. So we can keep our knees bent, especially if you're more tight in the hamstrings. And from here, we're gonna inhale, find length. So you might wanna take your hands up onto your shins, or you can even take your hands up above your knees. The only thing to avoid here is pressing on the kneecaps. Be really, really mindful that you're not like jamming on your kneecaps, right? So we're inhaling, find length through the spine, pull the navel in, and then we're gonna exhale, fold here. So we're gonna take a big inhale, and the arms are gonna lift. So really take a big, delicious inhale, reach up, get long, and then we're like hulking a t-shirt in half. We're gonna bend the elbows and lift the heart. So we're trusting our heart, reach, yeah, inhale, lift, And then exhale, hinge at the hips again. So take a nice generous bend in the knees as we forward fold. Our exhale brings us down. We inhale, we find length. Again, hands on the floor, hands on the shins, or hands on the knees. You're looking for that flat back, navel in, and then exhale, forward fold. We'll step our right foot back. We'll step our left foot back. So you can either, again, knees off the floor, come forward on the toes, bend the elbows, untuck the toes, lift up in the heart, pull back, downward facing dog. Or we're in plank, knees, lower all the way down. Inhale, lift, lower, tuck your toes, knees stay on the floor, press up, come back. 3 breaths here. The more you breathe, the better. It's incredible how long we can actually hold our breath. So trust that your breath is your guidance system in your yoga practice. If you're breathing really hard, then that is your body's way of telling you need to slow it down. Whew. So inhale, look forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Take a big inhale and lift the spine. Squeeze your legs together here. Keep the legs active as you forward fold. Continue to squeeze the legs together as you lift up, rise up, reach up. Get long. And exhale, bend your elbows, lift your heart. Inhale, lift and belly in. And exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Again, fold, fold, fold. Inhale, find length, flat back. Exhale, hands to the earth, step back. Plank, and then I'm just gonna flow through. So this vinyasa. Heart lifts, pull back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. We're getting ready for our last sun A together. It's all good, breathe. You can move your feet. Just because you're in a pose doesn't mean you have to be solid and sterile. You can always invite a little bit of movement. Trust your body. Inhale, the eyes look forward. Exhale, step or hop. Find length. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Reach up, get long. Exhale, bend your elbows, hulk your shirt, lift your heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold, belly in. Fold, fold, fold. Knees bent. Find length through the spine. And exhale, fold. Vinyasa your way. This time I'm going to show your knees. Lower all the way down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Toes tuck. Lift up. Downward facing dog. And then this time we're going to come back down onto our knees. And again, knees together helps release your sacrum. Knees apart helps get into the hips. So find what feels best for you. Take your hips to your heels and bow forward. Child's pose. If your shoulders are feeling a little bit cashed, bring your knees together and then wrap your hands back around you for rabbit pose. Forehead to the floor and find your breath. Again, the trust is the navigational system is your breath for your practice. So for rabbit pose, if your hands are out in front of you and your hips are wide, bring your legs together and we'll all set up for rabbit pose. So this is a great way to get into the upper back and the shoulders, and another part that's energetically linked to our heart and trusting ourselves. So we'll take our hands back around. We'll grab the bottoms of our feet. I'm gonna snuggle my head in here the best that I can, and then I'm gonna lift my buns up to the sky here. So I'm rounding through my spine, I'm pulling my belly in, and I'm breathing to my fullest capacity in my upper back. Shoo. Few more. Really let yourself liberate all of those muscles there. Might feel a little bit tight. It's not your everyday place that you get to stretch. That's what makes it so good. Take one more big inhale, and then exhale. Lower your hips to the floor. Extend your hands out in front. One more big inhale, and exhale. All right, so from child's pose, We're gonna come forward into all fours. And if you can cross your ankles or just come into the easiest way for you to come onto your back. So you can scooch. All right. And get all of your stuff situated and lean on our back. So we're gonna set up just for a little bit of bridge pose. Since we worked our front core, we're gonna balance it and also get our back body a little bit. So we're gonna take our hands over our head. Our feet are gonna be hip distance, the real distance that they are from your hips, not the imaginary one. So bring them in. All right, and then take your heels so that they're really close to your buns as long as it feels comfortable for your knees. So we're gonna take a big inhale. And on the exhale, I'm gonna like deflate and take my hands back by my heels. And then inhale, the hips are gonna lower, hands are gonna come above the head. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. In. Out. Inhaling trust. Exhaling fear. Inhaling trust. Exhaling fear. One more inhale. And exhale. And lower all the way down. And bring your knees into your chest. So give yourself a little squeeze here. And then extend your right leg and just hug your left knee in towards you. So from here, your foot is going to go either above or below your right knee. And we're just gonna get a nice little twist here in our back. So I might be a little bit deeper in my twist. So you might be right here, and that's totally okay. You can take your right hand and gently place it on the outside of your left thigh and gaze over to either the right or the left. So your hand is just acting as a guidance point to help you in your twist. As you feel a little bit more comfortable, you can take the heel of your hand and bring it right into that little hip crease here and press down to create more lengthening through the side body and the spine. Awesome, and then come back to center. Hug your knees in, give yourself a little squeeze, love yourself, trust yourself. Perfect, and then extend your left leg, keep your left foot really active here and flex it. And then bring your right foot either above or below your left knee. And then we'll go ahead and we'll twist over towards the left here. So you could bend your elbow. If you feel a little tweakiness with the hand out here, bring it closer to your body or bend your elbow. Same thing. You can press into the thigh and get a little bit more as long as that feels good for you. And really breathe into your side body here, your lungs. So we're liberating the sides of the heart. So we freed the front heart, back heart, and now we're working on the sides. And that's a big part of trust, is trusting yourself and allowing yourself to listen to that inner guidance of your heart. And come back. Give yourself a little squeeze. Take a few rocks front to back along the length of your spine. And then come up. Take a nice seated position. All right, you guys, thank you so much for practicing with me. This ends part 2 on trust. Be sure to come back for tomorrow for a detox element. If you wanted to learn more about me, you can check out my website. It's lizcdavis.com. And be sure to subscribe to Psychetruth for all the rest of the videos and for all goodness. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.